I'm back with our next business spotlight. And today I'm talking to Lindsey Miller, who wears a ton of hats. If you know Lindsey, you know that she is the CEO of Post Status, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're not here to promote ourselves, Post Status. Although, if you want to know more about that, hit me up on Slack or on Twitter. But no, Lindsey wears a lot of hats. So, Lindsey, tell us a little bit first about yourself. And then
Yeah.
the primary business that we want to talk about today, which is a business member of Post Status, but also I want to hear about some of the other cool things you're doing.
Yeah. So a little bit about me. I live in Oklahoma in the United States. I'm married. I am a parent to two fantastic kiddos, Lillian, who's 7, and Callaway, who's 9, who are just the smartest, funniest, sweetest, kindest humans to ever exist. And I'm so proud of the little people that they are. And I don't know more about me. I love being an entrepreneur and business owner. I have fantastic friends. I like laughing and love having fun and being silly and goofy and dancing, probably really badly, and laughing. I think I already said laughing. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
And you're an incredibly supportive person. So I if I can just interject for a quick second, you were the person that I went to and said, I want to write this article on misogyny. What do you
Mm.
think? Here's the first line. What do you think? And you're like, do it. And then I read it to
Mm.
you. You were in your car. I was sitting in a hotel room and I read it to you. And you were like, yes, yes, yes. So I just want to say that the support that you give
Yeah.
to me and other people in the community is awesome. But it isn't just this community you're supportive of, because you are also the board president for a
Yeah.
nonprofit that is also near and dear to my heart. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I am. So I'm board president of an organization called Free Mom Hugs. So it is an organization focused on the LGBTQIA plus community, and it was started really. It had with humble beginnings, like so many things do, and it was a mother and her son came out to her, and she rejected him. And she used her faith as reasoning to say that that wasn't okay. And so there it was really built on their pain of rejection and her realization that she could have faith and love for her child and they could live and coexist together, that created the organization called Free Mom Hugs, because there are many in that community who are rejected by their family. They're told that they're unlovable and unwanted by family and friends, by faith communities, by schools, and many other people. And they have high percentages of death by suicide and self harm. And so we exist to let them know that they need to exist, that there are people in this world that love them, that support them no matter how they choose to express themselves, no matter who they love and what that looks like. And so I've been blessed to be president of that organization for the last 3 years. And so you can see our organization on things like We're Here on HBO in the first season. They donated to our organization and represented us in their first episode. We are also proudly supported by Barefoot Wines, who are huge supporters of the LGBTQIA plus community. So those rainbow bottles that they do every year in June, $1 of every single sale of those goes back to our organization. And many other individuals. We're in all 50 states, where we have moms, dads, uncles, brothers, cousins, and those without children who show up giving love, hugs, handshakes, and high fives in appropriate ways, to show people that we love them and support them. So yes, I give my time to that organization, and sure love being a part of it.
That's great. I have a friend who wore a Free Moms Hug shirt to a local event, Pride event, and she was telling me afterwards, she's like, I only had one person ask for a hug. I said, well, how amazing is it that at that event there weren't people who were so distressed that they needed those hugs. So
Yeah,
it's work.
yeah.
I go, it's working. But now we're at some place that's not a pride, not to Pride, and then maybe you'll reach a few more people.
Yeah, absolutely. And we stress, a lot that we're in the right place at the right time. And sometimes I've held people in my arms and they've just cried because they haven't had that touch. Other times it's just a fist bump.
Yep.
And that's the kind of touch and support that somebody needs. And so, yeah, I'm really happy that organization exists. So thanks for asking
Yes.
about that. I don't get
Of
to talk about
course.
it very much.
I just love it. And
So
I visited the swag shop. I now own a mug and a tote bag, but that's another story. So love it.
thanks.
But the business member of Post Status is kind of your heart and soul um, entrepreneur entrepreneurial venture, and that's called
Mhm.
Content Journey. So tell us about what Content Journey is and how it works.
Yeah, thank you. A content journey is, yeah, it is the heart and soul of the things I do. I love it. I have a fantastic team, and I enjoy it every day. I laugh because I've been an entrepreneur a few times over. When I met my spouse, I had a political consulting business, and I've had several ideas over the years, some more successful than others. And so, Content Journey has basically taken what I've used day in and day out, no matter where I worked or what business I owned or was a part of, and took digital marketing and we processed it and took the best parts of that and said, we can do this and create, um, I don't know, the practices around it. How do we create a really high quality process around digital marketing so that we can take that off somebody's plate and deliver them a product that gets them results at the end of the day? Because I think when we do, I don't know, keyword research or writing specifically, or even image creation for our brand, it's a really hard thing to let go. When our words are represented for us out there in the world, it's really hard to let go of that. And so that was one of the first things that I did was go, we're going to own someone's brand voice and we're going to do it so well that no one's going to be able to tell that somebody else is going to do it. And so that is at the heart and soul of what Content Journey is really just very basic, which everybody here, in Post Status understands, is writing for keywords and lead
Mhm.
generation.
And it's like it's, I mean, it is ghostwriting in a way, but it's, Content Journey sounds so much better than like WP ghostwriters.
Right.
That could be a really fun Saturday morning cartoon though.
Yeah, I totally could, like a little secret society.
I follow Content Journey on all the socials and things like that, and what you do to promote yourself as not you yourself personally, but the business is just top notch. And so when you can see how well you represent Content Journey, I can just imagine how well you represent or you write for or you create for the customers that you have at Content Journey. And it's like you're the best kept secret, right? Because nobody's like, oh yeah, we hired somebody to write all those things. Like, oh yes, we do really good job at our blog.
Absolutely. We were actually talking to one of our writers last week. So he was writing for one client and he was researching what to write for. And while he was Googling for the research, another client popped up in like a featured snippet that he had written for like last year. And he was like, oh my gosh, look at this. We're like, oh, that's amazing. But
It's
you can't brag
Inception.
about that stuff. Yeah. You can't like even like take a picture and be like, look what this, look what we did. Like, look where this is. Look, you can tell the client, obviously, but you can't
Yeah.
tell everybody else. Like, look what we did here. But yeah, so it's fun. And uh, the way that we represent too, have you heard me talk about the unselfish marketing principle?
No, tell us.
You haven't? Okay, okay. So I'm actually writing a book about this right now. And so no one tells me it'll be done by December, but I keep telling everyone it'll be done by December, but we'll see. Uh, but we call it unselfish marketing. So it's not about selling ourselves or our services. It's really just about being helpful. How do we help other people replicate our business? Right?
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, you get to make your business better, or you at least get to see that we know what we're talking about and that it really isn't that easy. And so one of a few things happens. You learn something and you get to go do it yourself and your business gets better. And then I put goodness in the world and you're doing better and that feels good for both of us.
Mhm.
Or you get to see that I know what I'm talking about. And so like that's also really great. Three, you get to see how hard it is.
Yeah.
And therefore, maybe at the end of the day, you either tell someone else about us or eventually you hire us. Right. So, like, no matter what it is, it's good. But if you're
Hmm.
unselfish about it and you're just like, here's all the things I know, it works
Yeah.
out well, no matter what happens.
So, how do you answer this question? Because I know you haven't talked to me about this before, but I know you get this question frequently. How come I'm not on the first page of Google already? You've started working for us last month.
Right, right. Yeah. I know. Probably because I'm not writing for. I'm just kidding. I know. We get that all the time. So we talk about there's lots of principles within like why you're not on the first page of Google. And
Sure.
so much of that is like going through educating our clients on like what that looks
Mhm.
like and how we get there. And that's what we talk about. We have 12-month commitments with people who work with us, very different than saying like if you're unhappy with us in 3 months that you can't, like, you don't, they're not signing a contract, I'm not going
Right.
to take you to like court or something, but
Right.
it's a 12-month commitment to know that we are in organic growth. It takes
Hmm.
time, but like everyone here knows, right? Like in our community,
Yeah, of
if you
course.
get the right data, if you write the right content, if you follow those steps every single
Hmm.
time, it works. Every single time it works. But you just have to do the right things and
Yeah.
don't take the shortcuts,
Right.
and it'll work. And so that's what I tell people is like, well, it depends on who you're working with and what they're doing.
Hmm.
I take issue with the shade and seas of the world and the
Yes.
SEO companies that just like sit back and only do the technical parts without the content. So I
Hmm.
speak like a chef. We're content forward. It's like our
Yeah.
palette, we're content forward in our SEO. But
It's
so
a
that's what I tell
marathon,
people.
not a sprint.
Exactly.
And you didn't name
Exactly.
the business content destination. You named it content journey.
We did. Yeah, very purposefully. And not immediate
That's
results
right.
journey.
Exactly. Content, instant results. No,
It's the
that doesn't
result.
exist. We know that for sure. Well, if somebody's
Man.
interested in learning more, maybe they want a meeting with you, they want to figure out whether or not you're the right fit for them. Because I know there's more to it than just like hire us. It's like meet with us. Let's see if we're a good fit for you. Let's see if we,
Yeah.
can work together. How do they do that? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, really easy to find me in Slack, Lindsey Miller, and post out of Slack. Twitter, Lindsey Miller WP, contentjourney.com, and Lindsey at Content Journey is the email. So you can find me in all the places pretty easily. And I will say this though, we do have a unique proposition when we work with people. We won't work for competitors. So like once we do keyword research for someone and it's particular on the WordPress space, we won't do keyword research for a competitor because I really, really like to win and I
Hmm.
don't want to compete against myself. And so
Makes
that is
sense.
one thing that we take into consideration. So there is a meeting ahead of time just to make sure that we aren't violating our rules.
But you're in a unique space, that your
Hmm.
customers in a unique space other than what you've
Yeah,
already done, which makes a lot of sense for sure.
yeah,
You'll
absolutely.
find Lindsey everywhere but on everybody else's blog because she's given up her name there to the person who owns the blog. He's
There
there,
you
you
go.
just don't know it. It's like, don't look behind the curtain.
Don't look by like a Wizard of Oz.
Yes, exactly. Pay no attention to the woman behind the curtain. But she's the reason all the wonderful stuff happens. So, well, I appreciate all that you do and the relationship that you have, with me for, of course, because we're friends, but also the
Mm,
relationship that you have with Post Status and making things move forward there, and the
thanks.
business membership that's there, and the fact that you are so accessible to people who are at Post Status and beyond. So.
Yeah, thank you. It's been really fun stepping into a bigger role at Post Status. I've really loved it and getting to know more people over in our community there.
It's been fun. It's been a startup that wasn't a startup. You like, change ownership
Right.
and things like that. And it's like, here's our opportunity to make a bunch of changes and discover what works and what doesn't. And so it's been very cool.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Absolutely. It's been fun.
It's been a journey and I love it.
As is everything with me, apparently.
I mean, that's okay, right? That's the way it's supposed to go.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So if you heard, if you're looking to connect with Lindsey on all content journey things, or post status questions or free mom hugs, find her on Slack, on Twitter, or contentjourney.com. Well, thanks for sharing. It's been great.
Thanks, Michelle, for having me.
We'll see you next time.